Oh, that's going to be a GIF, isn't it? Hello there, I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com and welcome to How WWE Should Have Booked, where I look back at infamous WWE missed booking opportunities and talk about how I would book them differently, because I'm a smart ass. This time I'm looking at how WWE should have booked Steve Austin being hit by a car, Part 1. First of all, I wouldn't have, because previously Steve Austin had been arrested for hitting an ambulance with Triple H in it with a car, so if you establish the rules that vehicular assault equals police jail time, then they have attempted vehicular homicide with no consequences. But anyway, this is what happened. So at Survivor Series 1999, Steve Austin needed to stop wrestling because his neck was full of gremlins. He was being interviewed by Kevin Kelly when he was attacked by Triple H. Steve Austin chased Triple H into a car parking lot when he got hit by a car, and Jim Ross said, "That car just ran over Austin! That car just ran over Austin!" Austin was replaced in the Triple Threat title match that the WWE had kept advertising up until the point of Survivor Series, despite the fact that Steve Austin definitely wasn't going to wrestle that night. Naughty, naughty, naughty. He was replaced by The Big Show, who won the title and went on to have a pretty dump title reign. Then Austin came back at Backlash in 2000 to cost Triple H the title against The Rock. Then after SummerSlam at Unforgiven, Steve Austin came back, stunned Steve Blackman and said he was going to find out who hit him with a car, Con it. Commissioner Foley put on his Sherlock Holmes hat and it was revealed the man who ran down the rattlesnake who tried to kill Stone Cold Steve Austin was the dude with the butt. This guy, Rikishi. The guy who he said he did it for The Rock, without The Rock's knowledge, because that's not the point of gift giving. It's not the recognition, it's the murderous thought that counts. So Steve Austin beat the piss out of Rikishi and tried to murder him with a car when he was arrested. That Rikishi wasn't, despite Rikishi admitting on live TV that he ran down a man with a car. I don't think the statute of limitations was expired. Then it turns out that because Rikishi was fairly ineffective as a heel, mostly because the whole murder plan was just so darn silly, they changed it to Triple H being the brains behind the operation. So they had Rikishi saying that he did it for The Rock, but The Rock didn't know, when in fact it was Triple H who called Rikishi, gave him like the keys and told him to run over Steve Austin and then blame it on The Rock, but he was the mastermind. It was dumb. Dumb as balls. So from that point on, the feud was Austin versus Triple H, and to be honest, the feud was pretty damn great. They had a match at Survivor Series when, again, Steve Austin tried to murder Triple H. Fine. Then they had run-ins, cost each other the WWF title a couple of times, and then they had that amazing 3 Stages of Hell match at No Way Out. It was really, really good. Watch it, it was really good. But I can do it better. So in order to make the whole running down Stone Cold Steve Austin thing make sense, you need to look at it as a plan orchestrated by a villain, and that plan needs to be 2 things. 1, simple enough so that the audience gets it, and 2, the plan needs to have worked. Otherwise, what's the point? Now Rikishi's plan didn't make sense because he was trying to murder Steve Austin for The Rock, but The Rock was sort of already a megastar by that point. You know, he was already in the main event at Survivor Series. Doesn't quite hold up. So in order for that whole thing to make sense, once Steve Austin is returning to the WWF in 2000, okay, he's coming back, so you've got to look back and be like, right, okay, we've written ourselves into a corner here. Who benefited the most from Steve Austin being gone? Now you could say Triple H. It does make sense, you know, he ran the World Wrestling Federation in Austin's absence. Hell, he was the damn Wrestling Federation in Austin's absence. You know, he married the boss's daughter, but he had also been crowned champ before Austin went away. Like, the night after SummerSlam, he was crowned WWF champion, I think, twice, whilst Austin was still in the company. And, you know, you could say The Rock benefited, because he won the Royal Rumble in Austin's absence after Austin had won it 2 years in a row previously, and he again got crowned WWF champion with Austin's help. But again, he'd been champion before, and again, he was already sort of on top of the world. But you know who wasn't? You know who'd always been fingertips away from the gold, who had one of the best rookie years in WWF history that started at Survivor Series 1999? Why, that would be Mr. Kurt Angle. After all, if you're making your professional debut that night, what better way to thin out the top of the company, make room for you, than by taking out the biggest and baldest dog in the yard? Right, so let's say that it's Kurt Angle, and let's build Kurt Angle to a main event megastar in that time. So Kurt Angle had just won the 2000 King of the Ring by delivering a belly-to-belly suplex to Rikishi off the top rope, which was nice. So again, have Rock go into SummerSlam as the champion and have that triple threat love rivalry between Kurt Angle and Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. So I'd have that match, triple threat, Triple H versus Kurt Angle versus The Rock. I love Kurt Angle not to get a concussion during the match, but that's the sort of thing you can't plan. And during this match, with Stephanie McMahon's help, I would have Triple H win the WWF title. So he is the champion. Now, why you want to do this is you want to set up the fact that Triple H had everything to gain by Austin being gone. You want him to be champion when Austin comes back. Because remember, he is the prime suspect. Remember Survivor Series, Triple H attacked Austin and led him to the parking lot. It only makes sense for it to be Triple H, right? So the love triangle is starting to heat up. At Unforgiven, you have, first of all, lower on the card, you have a #1 contenders fatal four-way match. You have The Undertaker versus Kane versus Chris Benoit versus Kurt Angle. Now, Stephanie McMahon is coaching Kurt Angle. They're getting close. And with her help, he wins the match by pinning Chris Benoit. Now, at the top of the card, you have the rematch for the title, The Rock versus Triple H. Now, the match is happening between Triple H and The Rock, and towards the end of the match, Kurt Angle comes out and smooches Stephanie McMahon. Oh, that's going to be a gif, isn't it? So this tonsil hockey distracts Triple H and he turns around into a rock bottom from The Rock. Stephanie, feeling super guilty, runs in and breaks up the pin, causing a DQ. The Rock hits another rock bottom to Triple H, follows up with a people's elbow to send the crowd home happy, and then Kurt Angle enters the ring and he bashes Triple H with his WWF Championship. We start to see a darker side of Kurt Angle. And of course, on Unforgiven, the very same pay-per-view, Steve Austin returns and vows to find the son of a bitch who cost him a damn year of his life. So we're in the lead up to No Mercy. Austin's on a tear. He's stunnering everyone in the company, being like, seriously, who hit me with a car? Seriously, you guys, someone has to tell me. And yes, it's all pointing to Triple H, and Steve Austin gets a note under his door saying, at No Mercy, the culprit will be revealed. That should push buy rates up for No Mercy. So the love rivalry has really heated up. Kurt Angle has started doing creepy things. Stephanie has started to distance herself from him. And Triple H has had enough. He accepts Kurt Angle's challenge for a WWF title match at No Mercy on the condition that it's no holds barred, so Triple H can destroy this cuckolding son bitch. So we're at No Mercy and Steve Austin gets a VHS tape in the post. Oh, VHS. Bless it. He takes that away to watch. We get to the main event, Triple H versus Kurt Angle, and Triple H is beating the shiznit out of Kurt Angle. Whoo doggy! However, as the match draws to a close and Kurt Angle is in a bit of a bloody way, but Triple H is otherwise okay, we see the Titantron change. It's Steve Austin. He's grabbed a cameraman backstage saying, turn that camera on, you son of a bitch. Everyone's going to see this. He leads the cameraman to his locker room where there's a TV and a VHS player set up. Oh, VHS players. Where that's set up with the tape inside. He tells the cameraman, look at that. And then he storms off. Austin leaves. So the cameraman is just filming the TV and it's CCTV footage. And it's playing on a loop. And the CCTV footage is of Triple H entering the parking lot where Steve Austin got hit. He approaches a car. The footage warps a little bit because it's a dodgy VHS. The front door closes. It backs up. Steve Austin enters. Bang! And Triple H is just watching this on the Titantron. He's just sort of shaking his head. And then, glass shatter. out comes Stone Cold Steve Austin and murders Triple H. He beats the absolute purple twat out of Triple H. He kicks the stuffing out of him. He grabs a chair and proceeds to wallop the breadcrumbs out of Triple H. He leaves him a bloody, bloody, bloody mess. Stunner after stunner. He destroys the man. He hits Triple H with one last Stone Cold Stunner, drops him in the center of the ring, and Kurt Angle crawls over, puts one hand on Triple H. 1, 2, 3. Kurt Angle is the new champion, and he just smiles. That is all for now. We'll be back very shortly with part 2 of How WWE Should Have Booked. How do you like it so far? Tell me about it in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter here. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and I'll see you very soon. Were you one of the unlucky few who couldn't get tickets for July's WCPW tapings? Well, make sure you pick up tickets for August, as they're already extremely limited. On August 24th, we'll be presenting a special live pay-per-view quality show, WCPW Stacked, featuring Moose versus Joe Coffey, the debut of the Women's Championship, Will Ospreay versus Marty Scurll. The WCPW Championship will be on the line. There'll be Joe Hendry, Joseph Connors, Big Damo, El Ligero, Primate, Grado, Drew Galloway, EC3, and GM'd by Eric Bischoff. Not just that, but on the 25th, we'll also be holding loaded tapings featuring the Kurt Angle Invitational, a pinfall and submission elimination rumble to decide who gets to face the Olympic hero in October. Grab your tickets for August at wc.pw while you still can. The 2 days are looking absolutely stacked.